The reason why you keep attracting feminine men isn't because all the men in the world are feminine. It's because you are primarily in your masculine energy. And that's because you don't feel safe with the masculine. When women feel safe with the masculine energy, we feel safe enough to be in our feminine. You might think that you're in your feminine energy because you're dancing or you're wearing feminine clothes or you're wearing lip gloss. Being feminine is an energy, it's not just a look. You could look feminine, you could look masculine, but feminine energy is a feeling and is an energy. Same with masculine energy. In today's episode, I have my notes and we're going to talk about 3 things that are stopping you from being in your feminine energy. Before we get started, I would love if you could leave this a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're listening to it, it helps the channel and it helps the podcast grow so much. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, please give it a comment, subscribe, and a like. Okay. Number 1, you don't trust or feel safe with the masculine. So, a reason why your feminine energy could be blocked is because a long time ago, when you were younger, one of your first interactions with the masculine, something happened where you didn't feel safe. Maybe a masculine energy in your life didn't show up for you. Maybe he lied to you. Maybe he said he was going to come pick you up from school and he never picked you up from school. And so, typically, it happens when we're younger, and if it didn't, that's okay. Sometimes we don't remember it. It can also happen when we're older because if we don't heal from it, it can continue to stay in our lives. So, another example of us not trusting men is, let's say you're dating a man and he says to you, I'm going to pick you up at this time, and he doesn't pick you up at this time. And he never shows up and he just completely doesn't even respond to you, whatever the circumstance is. The feeling that comes from that is, I don't feel safe enough to trust this man. He said one thing, but he's not doing it. And so that's why us women cannot feel safe around the masculine. And so in return, we feel like we have to get into our masculine to protect ourselves, meaning we have to set the plans. We have to make sure that we have a ride somewhere. We have to make sure that things are happening somewhere in our lives. The trust was broken. And even if you don't feel safe around the masculine right now, that's okay. Awareness is the first step to change. But if you don't apply any of the learnings that you learn, things aren't going to change. And change is not comfortable. Growth is not comfortable. So you got to do different if you want different. So, like I said, any of these things, if you relate to them, that's great. You're in the right place and you can heal from it. I just want to remind you of your power. That was a bad winky face. I just want to remind you of your power. Along with this tip, I want to talk about how to let a healthy masculine in, right? So you might be asking, okay, well, how do I start to trust a masculine energy? How do I start to trust a man? Start with a friend. Start with a man who maybe is a coworker. Intentionally, when he asks you, oh, can I do this for you? Say yes. See if he does it. If he does, right there, the trust is built. The energy is there. The masculine and the feminine energy is there. What helps me, because I was once the girl who didn't feel safe around masculine, and sometimes it still comes up, is having healthy masculine male friends in my life who aren't trying to get anything from me besides a friendship. It's crazy because I had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of inner work I got to do around this. But I remember when I started my journey of personal development and inner growth, I had like other men around me who were on their path as well. And when they would come into my life, I would be like, wait. You mean he just wants to hang out and he's not going to try to do anything with me? I don't want to do anything with him. I just want to hang out with him. I just want a healthy friend. It was just that. So my invitation to you is allow a healthy masculine in. So, a wounded relationship with the masculine energy can be a roadblock to a woman to fully be in her feminine energy. And I'm going to say that again. A wounded relationship with the masculine can be a roadblock for the feminine to allow herself to fully be feminine. Why? Because she doesn't feel safe. The feminine energy wants to feel safe. When we feel safe around a man, we surrender, we let go, we trust, we sit in the passenger seat, our feet are kicked up, our hair is blowing in the wind. I know you're picturing this, or at least I am, and I'm projecting. And when we feel that, we can trust, but it takes a masculine man to be that for us. Next up, number 2 is Another reason why you may not be able to get into your feminine energy is because you don't know how to rest and slow down. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Resting and slowing down is part of being in your feminine energy. You can practice this in your day to day life. You don't have to be dating a man to practice your feminine energy. Actually, in order to call in that really masculine relationship while you're being feminine, is to practice it now. Let me ask you this. Do you ever take a day off? Whether it's from the gym, whether it's from your business, whether it's from cooking every night. Do you ever order food in and allow yourself to receive that? Do you ever not go to the gym? And do you ever take a day off from your business or from your school work and just play and just receive and just watch Bring It On or just watch your favorite childhood movies? This is you practicing being in your feminine. And if you can practice it by yourself, it's going to be that much easier to practice it when you're with a man. And if you want to attract a masculine man, you need to slow down. You need to learn how to rest. You need to learn how to receive, because a masculine man doesn't want a woman who's trying to control everything and trying to be everywhere and trying to do all these things. He wants her to simply just be and receive. Ooh, I saw this quote and it was so good. Slowing down is not the enemy. It's actually your secret weapon. Period. Society has made it seem like slowing down is a sin. Like slowing down is not good. Like not working is not good. I'm telling you right now, that is all a mindset. And there's a whole nother side of this world who agrees with me. When slowing down is okay, resting is okay, and not working is okay. Yes, you want to stick to your goals and stay disciplined, but taking a day off is important. Next reason why you might be having a difficulty time getting into your feminine energy is because you feel like you have to control everything. Can I get a show of hands for those who agree? I was once all these, and sometimes, like I said, they still come up. I'm human, I'm not perfect. If you're the type of woman who feels like she has to control everything or else it's not going to happen the way she wants it, that's you being in your masculine energy. Masculine energy is control, is being structured, is being logic, is being on things like this is when we have to do this is when we have to do that, being the head driver of the car. I always talk about the analogy of the car, especially in manifestation and feminine energy. The masculine is driving the car. The feminine is sitting in the passenger seat relaxing. If the feminine energy is secondhand driving, is that what they call it? Or backseat driving? That's her trying to be in her masculine. You can't have two drivers. Literally think about that. You cannot have two drivers in one car. If you do, that's two masculine energies. It's going to butt heads. And you can't have two feminine energies driving a car, or else the car is not going to fucking drive. So think about feminine and masculine energy as a car. Have you ever heard of polarity? Polarity is when the opposites attract and they kind of fit perfectly. Very, very similar and a great example / analogy to feminine and masculine energy. So when we try to control situations, that's us trying to control the how of things are going to pan out. And when we do that, that's us stepping into our masculine energy. And I talk about this with manifestation. The how is not up to us. Even if you are, in your masculine energy, for whatever it is, the how is not up to us. And when we try to control the how, that's us being in our masculine energy. And we do not manifest in our masculine, we actually manifest in our feminine. Let me actually restructure that the way I say that, because I just heard this person say this the other day, and it's true. And so I actually want to bring some light to this. We actually manifest in both. And everything that I talk about are things that I've studied, I've gone through, and I believe. If you don't resonate with it, that's okay. You don't have to. And so take what you want and leave what you don't. Manifestation actually requires both. And it really does. It does. It requires you to be feminine and to be masculine, to have the structure to go after, take action, all of your goals, and to sit back, relax, and receive. And I always talk about how manifestation happens in the feminine because it does, but it needs the masculine to happen. Before we end this episode, I want to give you 3 things that you can do right now to be more feminine. And they're so simple. Trust, surrender, and let go. In any situation you're in, whether it's a date, whether it's a job, whether it's hanging out with your parents, I want to invite you to practice that. Try not to be the driver. Try not to hold on to the things. Try to control it. Try to trust a little bit. See what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I'll see you next time on the next episode. Bye.